She'd been in a car accident, her daughter said over the phone. I immediately thought she was dead. I would never see her again. I held my breath waiting for the next sentence. Please, no, God. I told myself, don't let it be true. I don't know what I'll do without her. She's been injured pretty badly. She's gonna be okay, her daughter said. I let out a sigh of relief. She's gonna be all right. Life as I know it with Linda will go on. She'd broken her leg in multiple places. Doctor said she'd be out of commission about 4 to 6 weeks. But knowing my mom, her daughter chided, she'll be connecting with you and the rest of her clients within the next week or two. But for now, I'm gonna have to cancel your standing Thursday appointment. Linda was my therapist, is my therapist. She's a licensed clinical professional counselor, as she calls herself. I call her my lifeline. Life coach might be a little bit better description, because what she does is she lights a fire under my ass to do all the things that I know I should be doing anyway, both in my personal and professional life. She says do it, I do it, positive results, always forthcoming. Been a lifetime fan of airing out my shit in front of disinterested third parties in exchange for cash. So I've had my fair share of therapists over the years. Healthy range of personalities, sexualities, ages, genders, and different approaches. Each one ignites in me various degrees of motivation to make changes in my life. Some I feel within the first couple weeks, others it takes a couple months, and some even took years. But Linda was different. I knew after 10 minutes of sitting across from her on that comfy couch that she'd offered me a nice warm cozy blanket in the cool 70 degrees of her office. I knew that she was going to make a difference, that we had an ongoing relationship. Do you even know how to be silent, she asked me, after I regurgitated 550 seconds of speed talking, resulting in one long run-on sentence and answer to her simple question of, so what brought you here today? I'm not sure, I silently answered to myself. Listening to you is like watching CNN, where you try to listen to the news being reported live while simultaneously reading that little blurb down at the bottom for the up-to-minute coverage. If it's hard for me to follow, I can't even imagine what it would be like in your head. If I was supposed to be offended by this, I had missed the social cue. This broad had my number. As my wise old grandmama used to say, she'd put a finger over the hole in her trach to allow the sound to come out of her stoma. She's a keeper. After 7 months of pure bliss with Linda, i.e. taking care of business and getting shit done in regards to improving relationships with my family, tapping into my creativity enough to actually create marketable pieces, and softening my approach towards humans in general, I was forced to take a break because of her accident. Never mind that our last therapy session, she had instructed me to go home, talk to my partner of 15 years, of whom I was about to marry in less than 2 months, about postponing the wedding so we could have more time to work out our personal shit before tying the knot. Luckily, I'm both a good instruction follower and a doer, so I did in fact go home, have that conversation within hours after my last session with my girlfriend, and we both decided to move forward with the wedding as planned. But still, I wanted to come back and report that shit to Linda. I needed her. Faced with a few weeks of no therapy, I felt confident that I could breeze through with flying colors. Might even be nice to take a little breather, I told myself. Take a break. First week, easy peasy. Second week, starting to feel a little uncomfortable. Third week, I was over it. I thought I was going to lose it. Well, I felt like I was about to explode because I hadn't been able to share or get any input on any of my life challenges. I was also really worried about Linda. I wanted to show her my support, but how could I do it? Linda was close to my mother's age, super feisty, real no-nonsense, really nurturing. She helped pull me out of my self-created tailspins and pointed me in the right direction each week before giving me a hug, a real take this and carry it with you type of hug, before she'd send me pressing back out into my stress bomb of a life. If anyone else I knew in the world had been in a major car accident, send them a get well card, followed up by a call, maybe a visit, but this was my therapist. What are you supposed to do? There's lines and boundaries to consider. So I hadn't done anything other than send a card to her office, which I knew she wouldn't get until she got back to work. Well, a couple weeks go by and I finally hear from Linda. She sent me and the rest of her clients an email update with the medical status, a guesstimate of when she'd be back to work, and the name of her rehab facility. Mistake. A few days later, set out for a bike ride. Vague idea in my head, maybe I'll go see Linda. Head on downtown, go to the rehab facility, circle in the building, wondering what I'm gonna do. Feeling like might be overstepping some lines. No, it's fine, it's no problem. Yeah, this isn't really cool, but I'm gonna park my bike anyway and I'm gonna go inside. Finally, as I stood at the front door, going around the circular door, not 2, 3 times, I'm like, life is too short for this shit. I'm going in. So I start waiting in line at the reception, and there is this security guard who is showing that she has a big, important job. She is turning people down because they don't have ID. She's turning them down because they don't have their name tag filled out right. It's a little frightening. I feel like I'm kind of backing up a little bit. All of a sudden I realize she's just a security guard trying to show that she has a big job, and I have a right to go visit someone in public. Never mind the fact that I'm scared shitless to actually go visit this person because I probably shouldn't be there anyway. So I get up to her and she says name, and I say the name of my therapist, Linda Smith, confidently. Nope, she says. Oh, okay, no problem. She's probably already gone. I turn to leave. Wrong name, she points out. I knew Linda had a married name. She'd married later in life, and that she probably kept her original name for professional reasons. I tell the guard that. I say, Linda's got a married name. I don't know what it is. I know she's been in an accident with her husband. They're probably in the same room. I don't know. She goes, enough. She goes, I got a memo about them. She goes, come on in. I was in, yes, but I didn't want to go in yet because I was empty-handed. I hadn't thought to bring anything for her. So the guard explained I should go across the street. They have items I could pick up that wouldn't break the bank, and come on back when I was ready and I could soar right through. Bingo! After spending entirely too much time deciding between the orchid plant or the bouquet of fresh cut flowers, I purchased the orchid, attached a small get well card with my name on it, and headed back to the hospital. Once inside, I waved my name tag, like it's a backstage pass to a Blondie concert. The guards don't care. They're unimpressed. They say hit it to the 24th floor. As I step out of the elevator, I realize just how fucking awkward this is going to be. I gingerly step inside the open-doored room, and I quickly assess the situation. On one side of the room, my therapist is in her bed, closest to the door, looking no different than when I see her every other week. Full makeup, hair, but she's got PJs on, and she's propped up in a mechanical bed. Across the room, however, her husband looks sick, uncomfortable, and he's sleeping with a grimace on his face. In between them, there's this arc of chairs positioned at the foot of the beds, kind of like Greek tragedy style, occupied by one lone visitor, a woman who sat talking to my Linda. For a split second, I thought I'd stepped into a scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You know the one. Charlie comes home, his 4 bedridden grandparents are in one bed, they've been there 20 years, living, eating, drinking. It was creepy. But then I thought maybe I needed to be in a movie sequence in order to handle the uneasiness I was experiencing. I shouldn't be here. I had stepped across the forbidden line. But I quickly recovered, jumped into action, negotiated myself between the tight semicircle of chairs to Linda. She pulled me in close for one of her famous hugs, me worrying the whole time that I'm going to further break her already broken bones with my awkwardness. I thrust the plant onto her rolling hospital table and told her I wasn't here to stay, just wanted to check in and say hello, and I was thinking about her. She introduced me to her husband and her visiting friend and told me how glad she was to see my smiling face. After asking how she was feeling, she pulled off the sheet, shows me her multiple sutures on her leg, said she's in a lot of pain, but she's doing fine. I tried to make light of my internal struggle about visiting her, and I shared with her my dilemma over whether it was in fact appropriate for a client to visit one's therapist when said therapist was injured. She just laughed and she goes, "That's what I love about you. You don't give a fuck where the line is. You do whatever you want." I don't know if it's right or not, but I know I had to do it. All in all, I stayed less than 5 minutes, but I left feeling like a huge weight had been lifted. It's as if I had to see the physical proof that Linda was not dead and that she'd be back to work with me at some point. Linda eventually got out of the hospital, but unfortunately got readmitted for another medical issue, which kept her out of my realm of possibility for the month leading up to my wedding. Wanting to wait for Linda to talk through my angst, but realizing my need to work through some issues was more important than who I discussed them with, I made the difficult decision to find a new therapist that week before my wedding. The new gal's been lovely, but as I told her at the beginning of our second appointment, when she told me she was glad that she was helpful enough during the first session for me to come back for a second, I said, "You could have been a clay-made Mr. Bill, it wouldn't have mattered. I just needed to air some shit out." I miss Linda greatly. Her sincerity, her bolstering, and her frank style of pointing out my obvious flaws, those that aren't always so apparent to me. But I know I'm on a good path now, taking care of myself, even though it meant starting over with someone new. And as I stood smiling from ear to ear on this exact stage 3.5 weeks ago, marrying the woman I love, despite our messy and sometimes less than perfect relationship, I knew Linda would encourage me to follow my heart as well as the recommendation from my favorite advice columnist, Dia Sugar, aka Cheryl Strayed, when she suggests the best thing you can do with your life is to tackle the motherfucking shit out of it. Woo!